Once upon a time, in an age before roads sliced through the quiet hills, and the chorus of birds was the only music you'd hear, there was a village called Idera. It was a place of deep peace, easy laughter, and hearts as strong as the ancient baobab trees. In this village lived a woman named Abeni. Her kindness was legendary. Her voice was as soft as the evening wind, and her eyes held stories that felt older than time itself. If you were hurt, Abeni would be there to tend to your wound. If you were hungry, she would share her meal, even if it meant her own stomach would be empty that night. But beneath her gentle smile, Abeni carried a sorrow no one could see. Her only son, Kola, had left home after a bitter fight many seasons ago. Every morning, as the sun painted the sky, she would whisper a prayer, "Kola, my child, wherever you walk, may your feet not stumble." And every night, she would sit by the dim light of her lamp, holding a smooth, round calabash that had belonged to her mother. She used to serve food in it, but now, it was empty. Abeni called it the calabash of forgiveness. She would often say, "As long as it is empty, my heart waits." Years rolled by like the river. The village children grew up, and new faces appeared at the market, but Abeni's vigil never ended. Sometimes, the younger women would whisper and laugh behind her back. Old Abeni still waits for her son. Hasn't she learned? He will not return. But the village elders would simply shake their heads and say, "Young ones, you do not understand the heart of a mother. It is like the river, it bends, but it never breaks." Then came the year the sky turned cruel. The dark, promising clouds never arrived. The rains were late, and then they didn't come at all. A devastating drought settled over the land. The yams turned yellow and withered, and the corn stalks bent over like tired old men. Even the great river, which once sang, began to whisper. Abeni's farm, once a vibrant tapestry of green, turned to dust. Her animals grew thin. But even in these desperate times, Abeni's kindness didn't waver. She shared what little she had. When her neighbor's child cried from hunger, Abeni gave her half of her meager portion of millet. When an old man collapsed under the scorching sun, she rushed to his side with water for his parched lips. One evening, her dear friend Adoni came to her. "Abeni," she said, her voice filled with concern, "you are so kind. But kindness will not fill your pot. You must keep something for yourself." Abeni managed a weak smile. "Adoni, my mother taught me, when you give, the earth remembers." Days bled into weeks, and hunger spread through the village like a wildfire. One night, a fierce wind howled, shaking the huts. Abeni sat by her fire, feeling weak and frail. Her pot was empty. Her stomach was empty. But her heart still clung to one prayer, "Let Kola be alive." Suddenly, there was a sound. Knock, knock, knock. A faint tapping at her door. At first, she thought it was just the wind playing tricks on her tired mind. But then it came again. Knock, knock. Slowly, she pulled herself up and opened the door. There stood a man as thin as a shadow. His face was caked with dust, his clothes were torn and ragged. His voice trembled as he spoke, "Please, mother, I have not eaten in days. I beg for just a sip of water, a single bite of food." Abeni's eyes filled with tears. Her own hunger was forgotten. "My son," she said, her voice gentle, "I have very little left, but please, come in." She gave him the last of the water from her gourd. Then, she scraped the bottom of her pot and found only a few grains of yam. With trembling hands, she served it to him. He ate in silence, his shoulders shaking. Tears fell from his eyes, landing in the small bowl. When he finished, he looked up. His lips parted, and he whispered, "Mother, do you not know me?" Abeni froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She looked closer, peering through the layers of dust, past the hunger and the pain in his eyes, and then, a jolt of recognition. "Kola," she gasped. Her knees gave way. The gourd slipped from her hands and rolled across the floor. The stranger fell at her feet, his body racked with sobs. "Yes, Mama. It is I, Kola. Your stubborn son who walked away in anger." I thought I was so strong. I thought I needed no one. But I have been hungry, lost, and so alone for so many years. I have come home, if you will forgive me. Ebony's voice cracked with emotion. My son, hunger did not bring you home. Love did. She placed her hands on his head and whispered a prayer of her own. As the river forgives the stone that disturbs its path, may my heart forgive my child. They embraced, a mother and son reunited after years of pain. And in that very moment, a deep rumble of thunder rolled across the sky. A cool wind swept through the open door. Raindrops began to fall, softly at first, then heavier, until a wild, life-giving downpour washed over the land. It rained all through the night. The villagers, looking out from their homes, said the rain came when forgiveness returned to Ebony's heart. The next morning, the world smelled new again. Children laughed and danced in the fresh puddles. The men returned to their farms, their voices joined in songs of hope. And at Ebony's hut, smoke rose from her kitchen once more. Kola stayed by his mother's side. He worked tirelessly in the fields, planting new seeds in the damp earth. Every evening, they would sit together by the lamp. Kola would ask, "Mama, tell me a story." And she would smile. "Let me tell you about the calabash of forgiveness." She explained how the calabash had remained empty through all the years of her waiting, a symbol of her longing. But now, it was filled again, not with food, but with a profound and lasting peace. Weeks passed. Kola began to help others in the village, mending roofs, sharing food, and offering guidance to the young. The people saw the change in him and would say, "Truly, a mother's love can soften even the hardest heart." One day, Kola went to the river to fetch water. He saw a young boy crying because his father had punished him in anger. Kola sat beside him. "My child," he said gently, "do not carry anger in your heart. It is a heavy stone. Let it go before it breaks you." The boy looked up at him and asked, "Did you ever carry anger?" Kola smiled sadly. "Yes. And it took me many hungry years to finally drop it." When he returned home, Ebony looked at him, her eyes shining with pride. "My son, I see your father's light in your eyes again." He nodded. "Because you forgave me, Mama, I learned to forgive myself." The seasons turned, and the land flourished once more. The market was alive with laughter, the beat of drums, and the sweet scent of ripe fruits. Ebony grew older, her hair turning as silver as moonlight, but her spirit shone brighter than ever. One evening, she called Kola to her side. "My son, promise me something." He held her frail hands in his. "Anything, Mama." She said softly, "Whenever someone hurts you, do not let the wound grow old. Wash it with forgiveness before it turns to poison." Kola nodded, tears welling in his eyes. He promised. Years later, when Ebony joined the ancestors, the entire village came to honor her. They placed her calabash in the center of the village square, filled with flowers and clean water, a symbol of peace for all to see. From that day on, the villagers told her story to their children. They would say, "Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the deepest kind of strength." And whenever a quarrel broke out, the elders would remind them, "Remember Ebony and her son Kola. Remember the calabash of forgiveness. Ease in forgiveness, and may love guide your path." Thank you for listening. My friends, that is the story of the calabash of forgiveness. It teaches us that a heart that forgives is stronger than a heart that holds onto anger. It shows that while pride can tear families apart, love always has the power to rebuild them. And it reminds us that peace begins the moment we choose to forgive.